of your family, because we're not used to live the life like you see today. And even you take your Papu Filimon and tell you how they used to live over there, those days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not easy. And especially the families, they have 6 children, they have 8, they have 9. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for the father and the mothers, that was easy them to feed you and dress you, and things like that. The way we dress, I have my older brother, and every time he grew up, I wore his pants and his jackets and things. And after, my third, brother, he used to get mine. That's why always the guy who was the first one, always they get the new things. You know what I mean? The new pants, the new things, the new shoes. But we get like a steps, back. I mean, we don't have a life, like you see today here.
Yeah. So, wait, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
We were 6 altogether. My first, Jimmy, Dimitrios, Konstantinos, and my sister Angela, my brother Angelo, Angelo, anyhow, and my brother George, and my sister Helen. It's a 6.
Okay. Did they all go up to 6th grade?
They know.
Yeah. Did they all?
Not me. All everybody we were like this.
Okay.
Because like I say, if you want to go, in a middle school, you're supposed to go Athens, Piraeus, far away.
Right.
And it's not easy those days, the money for the parents to let you go, over there,
Yeah.
and pay, transportations, and pay the food you're going to eat. You know what I mean? That's why you're lucky to go, up to 6th grade.
Yeah. All right, and then, what do you remember the year that the Italians invaded Greece?
Yes. October. I remember, the month and the year, 1940.
Okay.
28th of October, 28.
How do you remember that?
Yeah, my computer. 28 October 28, 1940. But the war with Italians, they be 6 months in winter time. That's why we have a lot of soldiers who they have a frozen food and they cut the feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
have a casualties, not they shoot with the guns, but with the and some guys who they have some kind of disease up on the mountains of Albania, and they get sick and die over there. I mean, because these guys, they eat a lot of stuff, they find it, they don't have support from the government to send foods up there, because they don't have the foods, they don't have the things. And the Greeks, they was lucky because always they win. Because the Italians, they invade North Greece right away. That's why the Greeks, they don't have enough guns, they don't have soldiers, and that's why they call everybody, and they use anything they have and push the Italians back to Albania. And after all these mountains over there, it's a big mountains. That's why the Italians, they have good soldiers, equipments. They have tanks, they have aeroplanes, they have everything. But they cannot use, the tanks, because they mountains. They don't have a roads, things like that. Albania is always, mountains. That's why the Greeks, they had the chance to push the Italians all the way back close to the capital of Albania, But the Germans came, and after the Germans came, the soldiers, they go back, to Greece. Because you can fight with the Germans, they were so strong, but the Germans went through Yugoslavia, who have a border, because Greece, have a, border with Albania, Yugoslavia, and Bulgaria, 3 countries. But Yugoslavia is a little bit different. You know what I mean? The ground, they came. And when the soldiers, they back up to return down south, like my uncle, he was from Piraeus, south. The Germans, they meet, the soldiers who they go back. And the only thing they told them, drop your gun and get up, on a tank or in the trucks, something like that, they bring a lot of soldiers down. Because the problem with the Germans is one thing. The Hitler, he has, a relation with our government, German taxes. And they used to excess, like grapes, like wine, like a lot of things, a few years before the war. And the Germans used to send, to Greece some kind of guns, anti-aircraft guns, a few aeroplanes, like that. But when the Hitler asked to go through the Greeks just one way, to go south, because they want to jump, go, in Egypt. You know what I mean? The government of Greece, the president of Greece, his name was John Metaxas. He refused to, because he refused to say to the Germans, no, you not have to come. Because, they don't have a power, And the English, they enforced the guy, to say no. Declare war against the Germans. And John Metaxas, he refused to do that. And the next day, they find him dead. The English, they chop off. And they put another president. Another guy who was, a senator. And the king called him, said to him, listen, I'm going to give you the control of the country and and declare war, against the Germans. And the man said to him, we don't have enough soldiers. And the king said, we have about 40,000 English in South Greece who they're going to help us. That's why the guy, he signed the paper against, the Germans. And, today he signed it, and tomorrow, he went and say to the king, the Germans is in Volos is a big city, in the middle of Greece. The Germans is in Volo. Where is the English? You trick me. And that's why the king said to him, listen, get this gun and go suicide, commit suicide because I'm going to put you on a fire squad. And he did it. We have a lot of problems anyhow. And after the Germans came, but they not treat us like enemies, you know what I mean? The Germans. But after they have, the underground, they do some things, for the Germans. That's why the Germans, they started, hit few people a bit. But in the meantime, the 3 years, they stay 3.5, we don't have a bakery, we don't have a, grocery, we don't have nothing. Everything was closed. And I don't know how many thousand people they die on the streets from hungry. Babies, in the crypts, you know, they die. They don't have a food to give them. Now the next question. You start for the new question.
So when the Germans showed up, do you remember how long it took the Germans to, when they first invaded Greece, do you know how long it took for them to get to your city or to where you lived?
Oh, when they left.
Yeah.
Listen, just figure out 6 months exactly was a war with Italians.
Yeah.
And after 6 months, the Germans invade Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they left, exactly, I don't remember.
Do you remember the day that they showed up?
But I mean the date. Just figure out 6 months from 1940. I think they came 41 over there, and it was, you know, spring. I remember that because the Germans, they wear the suit. I mean the bell suit, you know, and they have a chance, you know, and they take a sunbath. You know, they stay like that. I remember that. They not bother us, you know, they don't do anything. Now, figure out 6 months from the 28th of October, the Germans came. Get the calendar, see. Put 6 months, it's in the calendar.
All right. So
after 6 months.
So, what did you when you first saw them? How did you feel?
Listen, I don't feel anything, but they was nice. I mean, you know, they're not people who do something like that. You know, they were nice. I told you the truth. When they came in the Navy, over there you see them. You know, they have like a, how do you call this, stretchers? You put it down, and they get a bath. They had the only thing worry one bath, you know, because these people, the beginning they come like a tourist over there, you know. But after they have, you know, the saboteurs, you know, who they do things like that. The gorillas, you know, in the mountains. They used to exploit, you know, the trains, you know, who they went in Germany and go back and forth. That's how after they became a little bit rough. But in the place where I used to work, they was nice to us. I mean, they don't was, you know, soldiers. They was, you know, I mean, older people, technicians, you know what I mean, civilians.
So what was your job when you worked for the Germans?
Now, the first job is, because when the Germans came, we not build boats or things like that, you know. The only thing we do repairs. But the one job was because they have the dry dock, who they raise, you know, the boats, submarines and things like that. And during, when the Greeks they was over there, they have the people from my department, and were, you know, in a dock, dry dock. And after, you know, the ship came in a dry dock, they support the boat, you know, not to fall down, you know what I mean? And that's why the Germans, we continue that. And I was, me, my brother, and about 8 together, young people, young. And went over there and do this kind of work. But the problem was one thing. Sometimes they have a boats who they came, you know, the English, who they fight, you know, in a sea, they hit some on the German boat and don't sink. And they come, you know, over there, fix it up, put on a. Sometimes it's happened with the submarines. They came over there and put them in, but the problem is one thing, because